is reformat your phone or bring it back to stock. Here's the factory data reset. Save all your pictures because your phone is going to be wiped clean and brought to stock. And if you want to take even extra added security, install it from scratch on a computer, but that could be difficult. I think this should be good enough. Factory data reset. I'm on an LG G3, and you could do this with other phones as well. Some things might be different, but for the most part, it's the Android operating system. So after your factory data reset and you're starting from scratch, the first thing you're going to want to do is root it, and that'll give you super user access, ROOT, and it's different for different phones. So one that I chose. Some people use titanium backup. My preferred is this red trash can called System App Remover, and on here it's called uninstall. And what that does is you get to uninstall system apps that normally you wouldn't be able to uninstall. And that includes bloatware, that includes crap that comes on your phone that you really don't want. And if you notice, I have nothing Google here, right? Nothing Google, because I don't want anything Google on my phone. And a lot of the new Google apps like Maps and YouTube, it needs Google Play services. Well, I use modified versions of Maps and YouTube because I want nothing to do with Google, because we're trying to optimize our phone. We don't want anything running in the background. And you know, Google is one of those. Safe remover, be careful about what you delete. You can't just go deleting everything. It takes practice, and you could also put in a search engine your phone model and what's safe to remove. And Reddit has a lot of articles on different phones, and there's a lot of things on the internet. What is bloatware and what is not? For example, I could delete a lot of things that are spyware that actually come with your phone. Things that need a lot of permissions for no reason. Things that run in the background for no reason. But, you know, I don't want to delete my contacts, or I don't want to delete, let's see, whatever this is. But maybe I do. I don't know. I haven't taken too much time. Because if you start deleting everything, you're going to find you can't do things like upload pictures. You can't do things like basic stuff. But there's other things you could delete all day and you'll be okay. I know most people use Google Play services to download their apps. I don't want anything Google, so what do I use? I'll go put on my search engine the app that I want, and I'll put APK. That's what the extension name is, APK for apps. And another optional good app that I like is this F-Droid. And on here there's open source apps. That means that the code for these apps are open source. They're available to everybody. It's not a secret. You know, a lot of Google's apps are not open source. You can't just grab the code. And probably because they don't want you to see what goes on in the back. All right, after you delete your bloatware and unwanted apps, there's also a thing called Carrier IQ, which a lawsuit has been filed against them because they claim, like most of these other terms of service and privacy policies, they claim, you know, we could use your stuff within reason, we could snoop on you within reason for advertising purposes or investigation purposes, blah, 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 and then you click agree. And when you click agree, you legally open the door for them to finagle around. There's this called Carrier IQ. It comes stock with a lot of phones. It's very well hidden. And even, you know what? I'm on airplane mode right now. Just so I could have all the CPU to make this video. You get an app called Voodoo IQ Detector. You could get it from this F-Droid. Carrier IQ, Voodoo Carrier IQ Detector. It has a picture of that Matrix guy that multiplies. It's a pretty good app. And you could also put in your search engine, how do I rid Carrier IQ, if you have it all out of your phone model. And that'll free up a lot of background nonsense that a lot of times mess with these phones, make these phones slower, because a lot of what you're doing is being forwarded to some supercomputer somewhere. While they spy on you. Whether they want to admit it or not, a lawsuit has been filed against them, and other people developers, they could see what goes on in the background, and this carrier IQ is forwarding texts to who knows where, etc. So you're going to want to get rid of carrier IQ being chewed up. That's RAM being chewed up. And you want your phone as free and clean as possible, and you don't want things running in the background. You're on Facebook. You don't want some rogue app. You don't want Angry Birds talking to the military about what your pictures are. Not that it matters in some ways, but in some ways it does matter. In some ways we don't want that. So one of the most basic things you could do for that, let's see, do I have it here? I have mobile hotspot. Okay, it would probably be this one. Nope, that's Hibernate. It's that one. Mobile data, you could do that through here. Go to mobile data. Go here. See where it says restrict background data? You're going to want to keep that checked, I think. In some cases, you uncheck it in case, let's say in some cases, you want to send a picture message. I formatted my phone so that it still works with the background data on. But if you're trying to send a picture to somebody and you have background data restricted, you have to stay in that application until the picture goes out. Because if you exit the application, you cut off its internet access because background data is restricted. So that comes stock with most phones. Also this app called AF Wall, you could get it again from that F-Droid repository. Repository is just a place where you could get applications from. AF Wall, it's open source. It is a basic firewall. It is low maintenance. Not very much CPU is drawn from this, from what I know. And just if you think this background data isn't enough, maybe I'm going a little too heavy, but I just choose to go a little bit heavy. So no more random data being robbed from you on these stupid ads. A lot of these ads are, whether they're adult ads or not, they all suck. And this will tremendously help. And some websites don't like it. And, that's fine. There are some websites, they'll give you a little delay, a 15-second delay. They'll say, oh, you're using an ad blocker. And that's what pays our bills. So now you have to wait a little longer. That's about it. Any website that'll completely ban me because I'm not using ads, that's a website I probably don't want to be on anyway. And another app that's very helpful is Greenify. This guy right here. That I did not get from this F-Droid. That you could get from Google Play, or you could get that from just put in your search engine and type greenify.apk, because that's the file extension for all these apps. Greenify, what that does, is it closes apps that run in the background. So a lot of times you open an app, you're done with it, you want to go do something else, and it lingers in the background. And sometimes you want that, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you don't want to keep closing things, because if you keep closing things, then you're going to have to keep opening them from scratch, and that eats up your battery ever so slightly, but over and over and over. Because a lot of times you do want your app to be awake in the background, so that way when you open it, it's snappy, it's right there. But sometimes you don't want that. Sometimes you want to shut everything down, get all the RAM and memory you can, and that's where this comes in. To me, it's a lightweight task manager. I don't mess with ES Task Manager or other task managers. They're a little too heavy, as in they take up a lot of CPU, and they're not. This is pretty lightweight app. And what I like about it is, if you do this, you see that little menu Well, no, I don't want a dual screen. See that little, normally that takes you to Google search, but I'm not going to press it because, well, actually, yeah, I'm not going to press it because I don't want this video to cut off. But see where it says search? It doesn't really search. It closes everything in the background. So right now, all I have is my home screen. It'll close everything. But if, let's say, I'm on Facebook and I use that method, it'll close everything but Facebook. So let's get into some cool stuff. So I don't have Google Play services. I want nothing to do with it. I have this modified apps. It's old, but it works. It does the navigation perfectly. You're probably going to have to mess with the different ones. They sell a few different modified ones, or rather, they're up for download, different modified ones. Let's see what version this one is that works on my LG G3. This is 6.14.1. As you can see, there is it's like Google Maps, but it's a blue and gray. So this one I got from XDA. XDA is just pretty much developers and people who like to tweak phones and stuff. You could download stuff, you could discuss things, you could troubleshoot, etc. Yeah, so 6.14.1. If you see you have minor problems, you switch to another one. But that's the one that works for mine. Here's another modified YouTube. This is 4.4.11. This is a modified one. So I can listen to music or even listen to a video and turn off my screen and it could still play. And I don't know if the newer YouTubes do that. I know for a while they didn't, for years and years and years. And the only downside to having this modified and this modified version of the two is I cannot sign in. So that might be a no-go for some people, but that's okay because I could use my browser and just go on YouTube through there and sign in and have my subscriptions and my playlists and all that. Another modified app is FaceSlim. I use 2.9.0, and the higher ones. You remember you have to download a messaging app to use Messenger. So now you have a Facebook app and a Messenger app, and the Messenger app wants all this information, wants your contacts, wants to see all your pictures, wants to know what kind of toilet paper you use. I wasn't about that. I was using this here Puffin browser. Puffin is my more heavier browser, but it's still lightweight and fast. Naked is my very lightweight browser. And if I can't do certain things on the Naked browser, I go to this Puffin browser. Well, I was using Facebook on Puffin to message, and it worked perfectly good. But I found this guy, FaceSlim. Of course, guess where you find this at? You find this right here on this F-Droid app. It's open source. 2.9.0 is what I recommend. If F-Droid doesn't have it, you could just put it in your search engine and you will get it. And it messages about every week or 2 weeks. My Messenger, if I go to click my Messenger, it'll say download Messenger, and then I can't message anybody. I'm like, man, this sucks. Well, the solution to that is you go to your apps, you go to your FaceSlim, you just clear the data and start from scratch. And when you start from scratch, the only thing you have to do is retype in your username and your password, and then you have like about another week. And what I really like about this app, if I could see it, FaceSlim, the permissions are very light compared to the official Facebook app.